15 Unexplained Artifacts that Baffle Historians. Number 15. Antikythera Mechanism. The Antikythera mechanism, US also Antyche, is an ancient Greek hand-powered orrery, model of the solar system, built in the 2nd century BC and discovered in 1901. It is the oldest known example of an analog computer. It could be used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. It could also be used to track the 4-year cycle of athletic games similar to an Olympiad, the cycle of the ancient Olympic Games. The artifact was among wreckage retrieved from a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera in 1901. Number 14. Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich manuscript, Voynich, is an illustrated codex, handwritten in an undeciphered script referred to as Voynichese. The vellum on which it is written has been carbon dated to the early 15th century, 14041438. Stylistic analysis has indicated the manuscript may have been composed in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. The origins, authorship, and purpose of the manuscript are still debated, but currently scholars lack the translation and context needed to either properly entertain or eliminate any of the possibilities. Hypotheses range from a script for a natural language or constructed language, an unreadable code, cipher, or other form of cryptography, or perhaps a hoax, reference work, i.e. Number 13. Baghdad Battery. The Baghdad Battery or Parthian Battery, Persian, Arabic, are the names given to an artifact consisting of a ceramic pot, a tube of copper, and a rod of iron fixed together with bitumen. It was discovered in present-day Qujut Rabu, Iraq in 1936, close to the ancient city of Ctesiphon, the capital of the Parthian, 150 BC 223 AD, and Sasanian, 224650 AD, empires, and it is believed to date from either of these periods. Its origin and purpose remain unclear. Wilhelm Nigg, at the time director of the laboratory of the National Museum of Iraq, suggested that the object functioned as a galvanic cell, possibly used for electroplating, or some kind of electrotherapy. There is no electroplated object known from this period, and the claims are universally rejected by archaeologists. Number 12. Piri-Reis Map. The Piri-Reis map is a world map compiled in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri-Reis. Approximately 1/3 of the map survives, housed in the Topkapı Palace in Istanbul. After the empire's 1517 conquest of Egypt, Piri-Reis presented the 1513 world map to Ottoman Sultan Selim I, R.15121520. It is unknown how Selim used the map, if at all, as it vanished from history until its rediscovery centuries later. When rediscovered in 1929, the remaining fragment garnered international attention as it includes a partial copy of an otherwise lost map by Christopher Columbus. Number 11. London Hammer. The London Hammer, also known as the London Artifact, is a hammer made of iron and wood that was found in London, Texas in 1936. Part of the hammer is embedded in a limy rock concretion, leading some to regard it as an anomalous artifact. The tool is identical to late 19th century mining hammers. One theory for its encasement in rock is that a deposit of highly soluble travertine may have formed and hardened around it within a relatively short time. Number 10. Sahama Lines. The Sahama Lines, Saxima, of western Bolivia are a network of thousands, possibly tens of thousands, of nearly perfectly straight paths etched into the ground continuously for more than 3,000 years by the indigenous people living near the volcano Sahama. They form a web-like network that blankets the Altiplano. Number 9. Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines are a group of geoglyphs made in the soil of the Nazca Desert in southern Peru. They were created between 500 BC and 500 AD by people making depressions or shallow incisions in the desert floor, removing pebbles and leaving different colored dirt exposed. There are two major phases of the Nazca Lines, Paracas phase, from 400 to 200 BC, and Nazca phase, from 200 BC to 500 AD. In the 21st century, several hundred new figures have been found with the use of drones, and archaeologists believe that there are more to be found. Most lines run straight across the landscape, but there are also figurative designs of animals and plants. Number 8. Rongorongo. Rongorongo, or Rapa Nui, Ruru, O, is a system of glyphs discovered in the 19th century on Easter Island that has the appearance of writing or proto-writing. Numerous attempts at decipherment have been made, but none have been successful. Although some calendrical and what might prove to be genealogical information has been identified, none of the glyphs can actually be read. If Rongorongo does prove to be writing and to be an independent invention, it would be one of very few inventions of writing in human history. 24 wooden objects bearing Rongorongo inscriptions, some heavily weathered, burned, or otherwise damaged, were collected in the late 19th century and are now scattered in museums and private collections. Number 7. Phaistos disc. The Phaistos disc, or Phaistos disc, is a disc of fired clay from the island of Crete, Greece, possibly from the Middle or Late Minoan Bronze Age, 2nd millennium BC, bearing a text in an unknown script and language. Its purpose and its original place of manufacture remain disputed. It is now on display at the Archaeological Museum of Heraklion. The name is sometimes spelled Festos or Festos. The disc was discovered in 1908 by the Italian archaeologist Luigi Prunier during the excavation of the Minoan palace of Phaistos. Number 6. Main penny. The main penny, also referred to as the Goddard coin, is a Norwegian silver coin dating to the reign of Olaf Kyrre, King of Norway, 1067–1093 AD. It was claimed to be discovered in Maine in 1957, and it has been suggested as evidence of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact. Number 5. Kensington runestone. The Kensington runestone is a slab of greywack stone covered in runes that was discovered in western Minnesota, United States, in 1898. Olof Oman, a Swedish immigrant, reported that he unearthed it from a field in the largely rural township of Solem in Douglas County. It was later named after the nearest settlement, Kensington. The inscription purports to be a record left behind by Scandinavian explorers in the 14th century, internally dated to 1362. There has been a drawn-out debate regarding the stone's authenticity, but since the first scientific examination in 1910, the scholarly consensus has classified it as a 19th-century hoax, with some critics directly charging Oman with fabrication. Number 4. Gundestrup cauldron. The Gundestrup cauldron is a richly decorated silver vessel, thought to date from between 200 BC and 300 AD, or more narrowly between 150 BC and 1 BC. This places it within the late La Tne period or early Roman Iron Age. The cauldron is the largest known example of European Iron Age silver work, diameter, 69 cm, 27 in, height, 42 cm, 17 in. It was found dismantled, with the other pieces stacked inside the base, in 1891, in a peat bog near the hamlet of Gundestrup in the Ars parish of Himmerland, Denmark. It is now usually on display in the National Museum of Denmark in Copenhagen, with replicas at other museums. It was in the UK on a travelling exhibition called the Celts during 2015–2016. Number 3. Ora Linda Book. The Ora Linda Book is a manuscript written in imitated Old Frisian, purporting to cover historical, mythological, and religious themes of remote antiquity, from 2194 BCE to 803 CE. Among academics in Germanic philology, the document is considered to be a hoax or forgery. The manuscript first came to public awareness in the 1860s. In 1872, Jan Gerhardus Automa published a Dutch translation and defended it as genuine. Over the next few years there was a heated public controversy, but by 1879 it was universally accepted that the text was a recent composition. Number 2. Tekaxikalikslovaka head. The Tekaxicalixtlahuaca head is a terracotta head, probably originally part of a larger figurine, discovered in 1933 among pre-Columbian